It was smooth on the surface, but underneath it was broken. Hoping to find hope in this hopeless world we live in. What you give is what you given. Gotta make wise decisions. Gotta stay tunnel vision. Gotta avoid collision. Keep scratching the surface and keep your palms itching. Gotta pay
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, football, of course, back in L.A. and back at StubHub Center in Carson, California. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Chargers. Hi, everybody. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Charger club entering play here. It's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point, but boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the NFL's most valuable player from 2015. It's Cam Newton.
There's a lot of good to watch in the game last week, wasn't there? I mean, he did throw 2 touchdown passes. That was impressive. And he's so close, isn't he? The 3 interceptions killed him and his team. That was costly. But if he just cleans that up a little bit, there's a reason for optimism with this team and this passer.
Now a play fake here on first down. That'll be caught by his tight end, Ian Thomas. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their efficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
From the gun on third down, Newton. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. McCaffrey following the penalty. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On second down, McCaffrey. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12. Time to roll through the defensive starting lineup for the L.A. Chargers. They come into this one down at the 27th position in the league, Charles, against the run.
Stopping the run That's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out. Being able to play it, understand what you have to get.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how he wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey, because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked by Kevon Seymour. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. So,
touchdown, Carolina! As his guys are in for 6. And the Panthers are going to take a first-quarter lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Chargers as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you. And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Rivers from the gun on 3rd down. Allen's got it over the middle. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Allen's first catch, good for a first down.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, not doing it. He came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up, because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Now Rivers, right back for Allen. This time he finds him complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. They're indeed going for it. It's Rivers. And Allen's got it. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
That'll wind up going for a loss of 4, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing Rivers. And complete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. Now Rivers on 4th down. Complete. It's Henry. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. They were caught in no man's land that time, but the decision to go for it, that was the right one. It's a 1st down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. Working out of the gun, Rivers. Shutting defenders at the 15. And that's complete to the right side. It's Allen. A Charger 1st down. Rivers hooking up with Allen.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
And I think we've got a hold here. It's a 5-yard pickup for the moment. Let's see what our referee says.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Rivers sets up the screen to Gordon. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A nice pickup there, 19 yards. And they're set up better for 3rd. 3rd and short yardage, Rivers. And he is caught at the 7-yard line. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down in the backfield. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the 1st down. And the Panthers will get the football back. A chance to get some momentum here in the 2nd quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure, you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in. But I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. It's only the 2nd quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I don't want them to feel like they've let everyone down.
Positive.
Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Throwing on third down, Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll go down after losing yardage at the 10. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. This is Jordan on the dump off. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and they're going to have a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
From the gun on third down. Rivers. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. Thielen with his first catch, and it's a first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Now, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They convert on third with a gain of 22. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Southern California after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. He was trying to turn the corner, but he will go nowhere. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
They're 2 for 2 on third down conversions on this drive. This one tough. They need 9 yards on third down. To throw is Rivers. It's complete. Henry. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
They'll try and punch it in. Gordon. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Did your high school have that same push them back cheer?
I was a kicker.
Well, it certainly worked. Didn't matter whether we were kickers or not. That one worked.
And this is going to be intercepted. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not
pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now Rivers. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Rivers now to throw on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Here's Rivers. Across the formation, he's got a man. That's Allen. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. From the red zone now, Rivers. Going underneath for Gordon. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on 2nd and goal? One receiver left, that's Allen. To throw, Rivers. Got a man, it's Allen for the Charger touchdown. Keenan Allen in the final seconds of the first half. And the Chargers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And it's no good. He misses the extra point, and this remains a 7-6 game. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we come upon halftime, intermission here with the visiting Panthers taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you to Orlando to check in. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
No gain on the play there, second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On 3rd down, Rivers. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he's got it across the 50 to the 47-yard line. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4. So 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions on this drive, and now they face a 3rd and 3 here. They run again with Jackson. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. Throwing, Rivers. Open man, it's Allen. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one good for 17 yards on 4th. Couldn't ask for much more from your offense there. First down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And a short gain here down to the 22. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Gordon. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
He can run for it, and he will. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. Rivers looking a little nimble there as he picks up a first down.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Let's go. Let's go.
They'll try to throw here. Rivers. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Touchdown, Chargers!
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
And now Rivers will lead the Chargers up to go for 2. Rivers to throw it. And he fires one incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game, a chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Here's Newton. And this one complete right side to Funchess. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
On first down, Newton. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Touchdown, Carolina! A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And his guys are able to strike for 6. Cam Newton now getting his guys ready to go for the 2-point try.
Remember the one-dimensional tight ends who just put their hand in the ground and block people? Well, if you're that guy now, you're probably a fullback in an I formation offense. These tight ends nowadays can do everything. Block, run, and catch. Beautiful connection for a touchdown.
So that effort gives him a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, and that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 26. Now Rivers. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. And the Panthers have recovered.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. They'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3. They'll halt play here for an injury as Christian McCaffrey is slow to get up. We'll step aside and come back to Carson after this. This is Newton off the play fake to McCaffrey. He's got it for a Panther touchdown. Ian Thomas, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. They worked out for 6. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. It's Charger football, but they trail here as we get going in quarter number 4. Rivers now on second down. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. 23 yards on the play.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
A first down throw here for Rivers. And that's incomplete. He was trying to hit Melvin Gordon there. And that'll bring up second down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
On second down, Rivers again. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Allen, the intended receiver, and it's third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. K'Wan Shorn in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Well, they went with a nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by James Bradbury. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line. Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defensive coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now. Because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed the quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
Well, he's got to figure something out because the current formula is not working. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Rolling to his right. They juked him. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the 4th quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
How good has he been throwing the football, though? And despite that incompletion, that's just the 3rd time he's been off target this entire game.
And, Brandon, I've been on the other side of this equation, trying to defend a guy who's been this hot, and it chips away at your confidence. And when you're not confident when you're trying to defend, it makes you slower to the football, and it leads to more completions for them. Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much, unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
And he will score. Touchdown, Panthers. Cam Newton, a 22-yard scamper, and the Panthers add on to their lead. And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on a passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice game.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where
and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. So they've got the football, and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. Now, these guys hardly got a chance to catch their breath after the quick turnover, but I doubt they're complaining much.
Especially with the field position they get to start with. I wouldn't be complaining either. I want to get right back out there and get after them because now you have an opportunity to make a big play. I'd say let's be aggressive and go after it.
Defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. McCaffrey with a 1st down and more. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Gano now to add the extra point. Gano the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Gano out to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Phillip Rivers now gears up to take the offense back out there. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Now a 2nd down throw for Rivers. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Caught by Allen. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. Desperation time. Rivers on 4th down. And Allen's got it. And he's able to get the 1st before he's taken down at the 36. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Rivers, he's going to let it fly. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Rivers now. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Deshaun Hall in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty...
And now here's another interception. Dante Jackson picks it, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Sean Lee, the Pro Bowler, there for the tackle.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the 4th.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get off the field. They can't slow them down. They're just going up and down the field against them. Yeah, unraveling would be a perfect word for them.
Down to the 25.